cold mist clings to your face as a distant horn cuts through the dawn. And before you even open your eyes, you know England will not be the same after today. You wake on a narrow wooden bed inside a timber hall in the south of England, the year 1066 carved invisibly into the rhythm of your breath. The air smells of damp wool, smoke, and earth. A faint orange glow seeps through the thin slits of the shutters, and the chill of early October presses against your skin. Outside, somewhere beyond the wattle-and-daub walls, a rooster cries, and the low murmur of men gathering drifts across the fields. You push aside the coarse wool blanket that has kept you warm through the night. Your tunic, dyed in a muted brown from local plant dyes, lies folded beside you. It is simple, knee-length, belted at the waist with a leather strap that has darkened with years of use. If you are a ceorl, a free peasant farmer called to serve in the fyrd, this is what you wear. Undyed linen beneath, rough spun wool above, sturdy leather shoes laced tight around your ankles. If you are a thegn, a minor noble bound by oath to King Harold, your tunic is richer in color, deep green or faded blue, trimmed at the collar with subtle embroidery. A cloak fastened with a bronze brooch hangs ready near the door, and your helmet, conical with a simple nasal guard, rests beside your shield. You dress in silence, fingers stiff from the cold. Outside, the morning sky hangs low and gray, a heavy blanket of clouds stretching over the rolling Sussex landscape. Autumn has begun to turn the fields golden and brittle. The harvest has mostly been gathered, sheaves of barley and wheat stacked in neat rows near the village. Apple trees bend with the last of their fruit. The earth smells rich and damp beneath your boots as you step outside. The village is stirring. Timber-framed houses with thatched roofs lean slightly toward one another along a narrow dirt path. Smoke curls lazily from holes in the roofs where hearth fires burn. Women in long wool gowns and linen head coverings move quietly between doorways, carrying wooden pails of water. Children peer from behind skirts, wide-eyed and silent, sensing that this day is not like others. Chickens scratch in the mud. A dog barks once, then falls still. You walk toward the open field beyond the village where men are assembling. Spears rise like a thin forest against the horizon. The fyrd local militia summoned by royal command has gathered. Most are farmers like you, called from plow and pasture. They carry round wooden shields reinforced with iron bosses, painted in simple colors: reds, yellows, faded blues. Some bear personal markings, crude crosses or family symbols, scratched into the surface with a knife. Closer to the center stand the housecarls, the king's professional warriors. Their presence changes the air. They wear long mail hauberks that reach nearly to the knee, interlocking iron rings catching the dim light. Their helmets are polished, their cloaks heavier, dyed in deeper hues. Many grip the great Danish axe, its broad blade gleaming with careful sharpening. Their discipline is visible in the way they stand. Feet firm, shoulders squared, eyes forward. You hear the low hum of conversation, thick with worry but also resolve. Word has spread for weeks. William of Normandy has landed on the southern coast. His ships, sleek and foreign, carried knights clad in mail and mounted on powerful horses. Harold Godwin's son, your king, has marched south with haste after defeating another invader in the north. The kingdom is weary, but the line must hold. A breeze passes over the field, carrying with it the distant crash of waves against the cliffs and the faint scent of salt. The channel lies not far away, an invisible boundary between two worlds now colliding. Somewhere beyond the hills, Norman forces are making camp, preparing in their own tongue, praying in their own chapels, sharpening blades with foreign steel. A priest moves among you, his robes simple but carefully maintained. He carries a wooden cross and murmurs Latin prayers, invoking God's favor. Christianity binds this land together now, though older customs linger in whispers and superstitions. You bow your head as he passes. The rhythm of his voice steadies your racing thoughts. As the sun struggles to rise higher, a pale disk behind the clouds, the sounds of preparation intensify. Leather straps are tightened. Shield rims are checked for cracks. A blacksmith near the edge of the village gives a final tap to an iron fitting, the ring of hammer on metal sharp in the morning air. Horses belonging to thanes snort and stamp, their breath visible in white plumes. You feel the weight of your shield on your arm, the familiar balance of your spear in your hand. The ashwood shaft is smooth from years of practice. This is not a weapon you use every day, but you have trained in the fields after harvest, standing shoulder to shoulder with neighbors, forming the shield wall that has protected England for generations. You look around at the faces beside you. There is Edwin, who shared ale with you at midsummer. There is Leofric, older, with streaks of grey in his beard. There is young Wulfstan, barely a man trying to steady his breathing. You are bound not only by loyalty to king and country, but by shared land, shared seasons, shared blood. Beyond the village, the road is little more than a worn track through grass and mud. It winds toward Hastings, where the armies will meet. No grand stone castles mark this landscape yet. Most strongholds are wooden halls or earthwork fortifications. England in 1066 is a tapestry of shires and hundreds, governed by earls and the king, its laws spoken in Old English, its fields open and communal. A horn sounds again, deeper this time. The note carries across the countryside, echoing off low hills. Conversations stop. You feel the shift in the air, the tightening of purpose. Orders are shouted by men of rank, their voices firm but not frantic. You begin to move, boots pressing into soft earth, shields knocking lightly against one another in a steady rhythm. The march begins. The landscape unfolds before you, rolling green broken by patches of woodland where oak and beech trees stand tall. The leaves rustle softly in the wind. Birds scatter as the column advances. The sky remains overcast, casting a muted, silver light over everything. There is no dramatic sunburst, no blazing omen, only the quiet weight of inevitability. As you walk, you think of the structure that shapes your life. Above you stands the king, chosen and crowned, defender of the realm. Beneath him, earls govern vast territories. Thanes swear oaths of loyalty, rewarded with land. Below them are ceorls like you, free but bound by duty. At the bottom are the enslaved, thralls captured in war or born into bondage. Each person knows their place, their obligations woven into the fabric of society as tightly as the threads of your wool tunic. You pass small farms where women pause in their work to watch you go. They clutch shawls tighter around their shoulders, eyes scanning the line of men. Some raise hands in silent blessing. Others simply stand still, as if memorizing faces. You feel the gravity of their gaze. This is not just a clash of armies. It is the defense of homes, fields, churches, and graves of ancestors. The distant thud of hooves reaches your ears. A group of mounted thanes rides past, cloaks flowing behind them. Their horses are not the massive destriers of Norman legend but sturdy English mounts, trained for travel and swift movement. The riders speak in low tones, glancing toward the south. The hours stretch. The rhythm of marching becomes almost hypnotic. Shield, step, breath. Shield, step, breath. The clink of mail from the housecarls creates a metallic undercurrent to the softer sounds of leather and wool. Somewhere behind you, a man begins a low chant in Old English, a fragment of an old heroic poem. Others join quietly, the melody simple, steady, meant to fortify the spirit. By midday, the clouds thin slightly, allowing a pale shaft of sunlight to break through. It illuminates the line of spears, turning their tips into fleeting stars. You crest a low rise and see the land sloping toward a ridge not far ahead. That ridge will soon hold the shield wall. That ridge will become a name whispered in chronicles. You pause as orders ripple through the ranks. The army begins to form lines. Housecarls take the center, their heavy axes ready. Fyrdmen like you extend outward, shields overlapping, edges pressed tight. You raise your shield, feeling the solid presence of the man beside you doing the same. Wood against wood, iron against iron, forming a living barrier. Across the field, barely visible through distance and haze, movement stirs. Standards rise. Bright banners unfamiliar to your eye. One bears the papal emblem granted to William. Another shows a golden lion. Norman knights move in formation, their horses restless, their armor gleaming faintly. The wind shifts again, carrying faint echoes, foreign commands in Norman French, the creak of saddle leather, the distant rumble of hooves repositioning. You swallow, your mouth dry. Fear is there, undeniable, but it does not paralyze you. It sharpens everything. The texture of your shields would grain beneath your fingers. The smell of trampled grass. The sound of your own heartbeat. Behind you, a priest raises his voice in prayer once more. The words drift over the shield wall like a fragile canopy. You think of your home, of the small hearth where you slept, of the fields waiting for winter plowing. You think of England as you know it, its language, its customs, its laws, and you realize that by sunset, all of it may begin to change. The music of this moment, if it had a sound beyond the wind and distant horns, would be low and resonant. A single drumbeat, slow and steady, the deep note of a horn, the faint hum of voices united in quiet determination. No triumphant fanfare, only the solemn cadence of history about to turn. The sky remains gray, but the air feels charged, as if the very ground is holding its breath. You adjust your stance, planting your feet firmly. The shield wall tightens, shoulders press together, spears angle forward in disciplined lines. You do not yet see the first arrow fly. You do not yet hear the first clash of steel. In this suspended second before chaos, there is only the sound of wind through autumn grass and the knowledge that you stand at the edge of a new age. You draw a slow breath, steady and deliberate, and fix your eyes on the horizon where the future of England approaches on horseback.